Hi. Hi. Good evening. Well, high vibrations do a lot of marvelous things, doesn't they? Don't they? I mean, high vibrations cure you, your spirit, your mind, your body. High vibrations heal everything, even your misunderstandings. They heal your ignorance to some facts which are highly important. Drove your attention to something what is really important for you. Keep your back, hold your back when you start to do something which is, well, let's say, which is pretty nasty. High vibrations are really fantastic. And, well, it is actually very fair because your brain, your own brain, is connected with your Holy Spirit. That's fair. That's great. That's really great. Everybody has a brain. Some use it more, some use it less, but everybody uses it. Everybody. In every second in his life. Even he's asleep, he uses it. You agree? Probably. And then we have some scientists who researching and they investigate the work-wise, how the brain acts, and come to a very interesting result. Indeed, before you decide that you drink the orange juice or not the apple juice, your brain decided that already. Why? Why? When it is not really me who decide that I want to drink apple juice, I maybe like to have apple juice, but my brain says no, orange. And I, under the impression that I really want to have orange juice, take orange juice. But who decided now? When the scientists otherwise tell me, no, that are happenings in your brain, and we see that because then this light and this light comes up, and then it's highly probable that you do that and that, and highly probable means 100%. But when we know that, what is thinking with us, and what instead think with us? How does it work? Because your brain is connected with your Holy Spirit. Your Holy Spirit. And your Holy Spirit is very keen that you bring up the most highest even possible energy. And honestly, when somebody sit in the muddle, sit in the mute, sit in the dust, sit in darkness, then it is very, very necessary that you bring up the highest light as even may be possible. Right? Yes, that's right. You see, your Holy Spirit guides you through your life if you are able to hear it. And it is the more difficult, the more you're busy yourself with something which is actually completely unimportant. And since I said it is very fair, everybody of us has a brain, and everyone is linked somehow with each other, that's true, but at first, your brain is connected with your very own Holy Spirit. So it doesn't make sense that I here hold up a sign, vote for that, and choose that, and go there and do that. Because it is then a foreign person, which has, in the best case, a bit something to do with you, in the worst case, nothing to do with you, and in another case, it has to do a lot with you. And here your free choice come in. Your free will. When you discover that this man or this woman have a lot of something to do with you because you you're inflamed, you love her, you're highly in love with this person, you're highly in love with him, you can't live without him, you think at least like that. It is because your energy kinds and energy elements, energy elements, are very, very similar to his or to her. And now ask very carefully, what does it make me for a person who has such an affection to him or to her? And here our free choice and free will really come in. What does it say for me that I love this guy and not the other one? And I can't judge. Why should I? I mean, it's not my business why this guy or this girl love that or those or this one. But he or she should start to think. And what does it make you from person when you are busy with things like that? And I say your brain is linked with your Holy Spirit. How many possibilities your Holy Spirit has to come into your world? Is it easy? Is it very free? The most of us don't have a free way to our Holy Spirit. That's the point. Or is it blocked by rockets, by big rockets, by small rockets? And then where there are the little holy holes, it's full of black color and full of sand and mud and everything. And so your Holy Spirit has a very, very difficult and heavy way to come to you, that you at least hear him, and you at least hear him. What would happen when you are in a cave and the exit is blocked with everything impossible? And from outside, there comes some tiny noises. You hardly hear it, but you know, this voice is very clear, it's beautiful, it sounds fantastic, and you like to hear it. You prick up your ears and you start to go there. Not so easy, because the pipeline is blocked. And so you have to let it free. It works fantastic with holy energy, by the way. And, well, thoughts deliver energy. Hardly to measure, but we do. And often we see that when we have a scan from our brain. We discover that when our brain is active, and especially when we're thinking, and every area in our brain start to blink up a light. That's something what we knew. Is the idea really so ridiculous that we say, okay, I think with my Holy Spirit, but this Holy Spirit will connect me with science in any way, connect me with my Holy Spirit anyway, connect me with knowledge anyway, with wisdom, which we need highly necessary, with love to do what I want, and love with the person I really like to love, and bring me in a high vibration, so that I can leave everything what is not a high vibration, so I can go away without to fight it. Why should I? It's not necessary to fight. Just go away from that you don't love. Okay? That's what I try to tell you. And that is a very, very silent way. Because this never comes with drums and trumpets and big whoo. No, not at all. It's quiet. It's very quiet. Actually, the more quiet it is, the more has the Holy Spirit, your Holy Spirit, by the way, your Holy Spirit the chance to come to you and to bring up his own voice. At the very first beginnings, I can tell you that for free, and you can really take my word for it, at the very first, it comes out pure balderdash. It doesn't make sense in any way. Not really. No, not at first. But later on, when you don't give up and when you continue and when you do that anyway, you discover that the very first thoughts, let's say 2 or 3 years later, does make sense. Now you have the connection with that. It's like a memory puzzle. Do you remember memory? When you have to turn around 2 cards, and then when they are paired, you can keep it, and if not, you have to lay it back. And when you play with children, memory, you will lost. Children mark everything. I remember when I played with my parents' memory, I have piles of memory cards because I see that once, and I mark everything, and my parents maybe that or whatever, because I knew I was perfect, like any child. And so it is like when you think with your Holy Spirit. You won't forget so much. You remember much quicker. You grasp, you understand more, and you understand practically everything later. Not in the very first beginnings, but later on. But what is more is that you start to decide in a much more wiser way, because you take care for that what is for you really important. And later on you discover that you feel not very comfortable when everything is dark and cold. No, that is not very fun. No? We like it a bit more cozy, warm, nice, smiling. So when we like it cozy, warm and smiley, so why we are busy to make everything for other people cold, uncomfortable and sad? Why? There's no need for. But if you are a person like that, and most people are not, by the way, people are better than they think, it is because we never are taught to do so. I mean, to take care for that. We are raised up with the thought we have to be better than the other guys. Otherwise, we wouldn't be the first. That's why. And if you have been raised up like me, I know that only one can be number one, and only the very first can be the best, and whatever. Such nonsense, actually. As long as somebody loses, the whole group will lose. It's always like that. We don't understand that. Yes, and it doesn't matter. It's not necessary to understand it at the very first beginning. Later on you discovered. Later on you discovered that we linked with each other. And if we are linked with each other, it is like when I fall down, everyone will fall down also. When somebody gets up, much earlier than me, he raised me up as well. And our thoughts are the steps. Every thought carry a part of energy with them. Every thought carry energy. And this energy can light me up, lift me up, or let me down and press me down. It's up to you. It's really up to you. It's something that I forget. I don't think. It is easier to say as to do. Honestly. Ach yeah. By them it looks so easy. Ach yeah. If I would be this person, I could make it good as well. Come on. You mentioned that too. When everybody else can do that, then you can do it as well. If you would be the only one in the whole universe, which is honestly very big, who can't manage that. That is impossible. Of course you can. And you have a Holy Spirit. Of course you have. The question is if you are connected with Him in such a strong way that you can hear it. And everybody has his not only burden to carry, but to put aside the black rocks and the stones and everything else. And the more you do, and the more you are busy to spread out your light, the lighter and brighter you will become. And of course, everybody stands on his very own point. I often wonder about Stephen Hawking. You know, as many people, I was deeply in love with him, and I don't know if I was, I am still. I love this guy really, and I was highly impressed by him. And I asked myself, how could it be? He was really very, very smart, highly intelligent, and he had the title, the Master of the Universe. And please forgive me, but here I start to laugh. The Master of the Universe can't rule his own body? It's a joke. There must be a comedy. The Master of the Universe, and he can't rule his own body. Oh, impossible. There was something wrong. No, that wasn't. Stephen Hawking was the archetype of a tragic hero, so he once said. And that's true. And it was like us, we of course immediately was affected by that, because with the tragic hero we all can identify us with ourselves. Yes, the tragic hero, that's it. He could do everything he liked to do. Apart from that, he couldn't move his body. Oh, shuck. What happened? No, really, come on. What had happened really? I mean, I am not here in a kind of remembering of the past and reincarnation, and I'm not a reincarnation specialist. You can believe me that. And reincarnation therapy, I never do, because I know quite well. Tell me I was that, and I was that, and I was that, and I lived this guy, and this guy, and this person as well. I really said, why not? Everybody lives several times, so why not me, and why did I not be a person like that? Yes, that, probably. But what happened now really by Stephen Hawking? That's really a mystery. The mystery about Stephen Hawking was really he could do everything, what he liked to do, but he couldn't do anything because his body blockaded him. So what has happened really? I can imagine very, very slight, is an assumption, not the truth for heaven's sake. Probably in earlier days, he forbid every knowledge. Every science, he forbid it. And now, he understand it all. And he get the idea, he knew how much important science is. And now the only way he could do to spread it out, to give it away, but he couldn't prove it, he couldn't move it, he couldn't do it, experience by himself. A pity. Yeah, it is. Tragic, yes. But also not so, my God, 55 years, they passed away anyway. They passed. Yes, they do. My life, the same. I understand how important science is. And it was the first 25 years for me not possible to learn and to study. Tragic, huh? Yes, maybe it is tragic. Yes, and everybody has his tragedy in life. Meine Güte nochmal, verflixt nochmal. Everybody has somehow his burden to carry. Yes, we have to choose it, and we have to transform it. We have to bring it up. I tell you what, my thoughts become higher and higher, and become step by step, a high vibration. You understand me what I mean? My thoughts are high vibration, and what I think on, it gets better. I do. And all people who do that, to set themselves in a high emotion and a high vibration, and they start to think, those thoughts cured. They cure themselves. And when they talk to people, the idea what does come in their minds, it cures them. I mean, maybe it cures them as well, really, possible. But at first, it cures me, the part from me, what was presented by them, get cured. Maybe he is very strong connected with me, and maybe it helps him as well. Possible. Yes, of course it is possible. So cure's working. Do you get it? I hope so. It would help us a lot. It would help you. It would help your surroundings. It is not necessary anymore to get angry with somebody else. Only remind yourself, this guy with whom you are angry, he presenting a part of yourself. And when you cure this part, your resonance for him is over. And this guy is maybe receptive for your rather good and nice and right thoughts for him. Maybe not. Who cares? You can go away. And if we are trained to handle problems with those attitude, it would be good for everybody in your surrounding, in your area. Very good. And now imagine what would happen when more than only one or two persons do that. What does would mean for our planet? You see, rumors travel fast. That's what I'm saying. Very slowly. It's not so exciting. If I would tell you, here, this actor, and now imagine I'd say a name from a very famous actor. I would like to have an example, but I never recall a name of an actor. They are all somehow blasting out of my mind. When I say, I hear that from him, and I'm sure that he have an affair with that, everybody will listen. Everybody will prick up their ears. Oh my God, this guy has no business with you. But when I tell you, your thoughts could become healing, high, in a high vibration, holy, become identical with that what your Holy Spirit will think, then everybody, oh yes, really? What shall I do? I mean, I tell it and I tell it anyway, because I think it's nice, and why not? I have even 8 persons who have an abonnement, you know what an abonnement is, so he steadily watching me. I don't know those guys, and maybe they do it because they think they want to think, or they want to see something very funny. Maybe they poke fun about me. Who knows that? And I don't care. I give my very best. I give that free away, what I've heard, and maybe you are interested in that. Maybe you get the idea that I'm not interested in something like, I make calculations and I know what is behind the Big Bang, or what was before the Big Bang, and I can prove that. Yes, maybe. But as long as nobody is able to understand his profession here on earth, nobody able to see his fate, And nobody is able to see his own holy person inside himself. I don't care what was before the Big Bang. And beside that, when you discover your Holy Spirit, your holy self, your holy mind, and your Holy Spirit, when you discover that, then you know for sure what was before the Big Bang. And then you know for sure EMC square. And then you know for sure why you are here. And then you know for sure all about gravitation. And then you know for sure all about Schrödinger's cat. And then you know for sure, and you know for sure about epistemic ambivalence. Then you know everything about that. And you even can prove that. And you even understand it really. That's what I try to tell you with my hand and even with my feet, but you can see my feet. Fortunately. Maybe there's a black hole in my socks. Who knows?